Welcome to this lesson. Hello guys, welcome to this lesson. So in this lesson we want to look at simplifying surds. At the end of this lesson you should be able to reduce surds to simplest form. Okay, or surd is in simplest form when the simplest number is under the square root. When the number under the square root cannot be simplified further, like square root of 2, square root of 3 and so on. So remember you can write a surd as a product of rational number and a surd itself. Okay, so we can do addition and subtraction, multiplication and division of surd. So let's dive into the lessons. So addition and subtraction. Okay, so we are going to be solving by way of examples, and get your pen and paper because when I solve like 3 examples, you'll be expected to solve uh, maybe like 2 examples as well. Okay, so let's take these examples. Let's solve this example. Let's solve A, I, and K. Okay, so simplify the following. A, we have 3 root 2 plus 7 root 2. When you're simplifying sort by addition or subtraction, you add the coefficient together, you add the number under the root together. Remember when we were doing or in algebra, if you have 3a plus 4a, you add the coefficient of a together, which is 7a, and that is called collecting like terms. So we can use the same principle also when simplifying sort. Okay, so here we're going to have we add the coefficient together. That's going to be 3 plus 7 root 2. Okay, so add the coefficient together. 3 plus 7 root 2. 3 plus 7 is 10, and that will be 10 root 2. So when you are adding or subtracting like such, you add or subtract the coefficient. Okay, and then we have the answer. I, 3 root 3 minus root 2 minus bracket 1 root 2. So if you open the bracket, we have 3 root 3 minus root 2 minus 1 minus times plus is minus, minus times minus, that would be plus. And then if we collect like terms here, we have 3 root 3 minus root 2 plus root 2 minus 1. Minus root 2 plus root 2 will cancel out each other because they are negative and positive. So we have 3 root 3 minus 1. So the simplest form of this surd is 3 root 3 minus 1. And that is how you can simplify surd. And finally, we have number k, 3 brackets square root of 3 minus square root of 2 close bracket. Okay, minus square root of 2 minus square root of 3 close bracket. So first of all, we open the bracket with 3 in the first one. So 3 times root 3 will be 3 root 3. 3 times root 2 will be 3 root 2. Then minus times plus here will be minus. Minus times minus will be plus. And then we collect like 10. So that will be 3 root 3 plus root 3 minus 3 root 3, 3 root 2 minus root 2. So root 3 plus root 3, so that would be 3 plus 1. Okay, so that would be 4 root 3 minus 4 root 2. So you can see that 4 is common, so we can factorize that. So that can be 4 brackets root 3 minus root 2. Okay, so and that is the final answer. So this is how you can simplify surd uh, expression involving surd. So we're going to take this one quickly. We can take this classwork 1 and classwork 2. Pause the video, take this classwork and come back. Let's solve together. Welcome back, guys. So let's find the solution together. So solution for E, that was the first one. Square root of 3 minus 2 minus root 3. We open the bracket with the negative sign outside there. So that will be root 3 minus 2. Minus times minus is plus root 3. Okay, so and then we have root 3 plus root 3 minus 2. So root 3 plus 2, root 3, that will be 2 root 3 minus 2, and then we can factor out 2 root 3 as root 3 minus 1. Okay, so that's the simplest form there. And then for G we have 5 root 2 minus root 3 plus root 2 minus root 3. So simply collect like terms, bring the root 2 together and bring the root 3's together. So 5 root 2 plus 1 root 2. Remember, this is just like 1. So if we add it together, we have 6 root 2 minus root 3 minus root 3. If you have minus a, that is minus 2a, right? So this will be minus 2 root 3. And then what is common? 2 is common, so we can factor out 2 brackets 3 root 2 minus root 3. That's the simplest form. So if you get it correctly, you can take your pen and mark expansion is 1 mark, simplification here, that's 3 mark, collecting, rearranging here is 1 mark, collecting left hand, that's 3 marks. So mark the steps and give yourself 6 over 6. If you don't get it correctly, mark the steps you got correctly and write your grade over 6. Okay. Alright, let's look at what we have next here. Simplify the following. So this is like multiplication. We're going to use the principle square root of a squared, square cancel square root, and you have a. So that's what we're basically using here. Okay, so let's go. Let's take a. So here we'll be solving only a and this one. So let's take a. Or a, we have 2 root 2 squared. So you expand, that will be 2 squared multiplied by root 2 squared. Okay, so 2 square and square root cancel each other. 2 squared is 4, so that will be 4 times 2. 4 times 2 is 8, so the answer is 8. So the answer to that is not a surd. P, minus 2 root 3 into minus 5 root 3. So this is like multiplication of surd. So we multiply the number outside by the number outside, multiply the surd by the surd. So we have minus 2 times minus 5 multiplied by root 3 times root 3. That will be root 3 squared. Square cancel square root. Minus times minus here is plus. 2 times 5 is 10. And that will be 10 times 3, which is 30. So this is how you can simply multiply surd. So this is surd multiplication. So quick one, guys. Take this classwork. Quick one. Let's just give you one classwork here. Classwork. If you are done, let's solve it together. Pause the video. So solution J. So we have 3 root 2 multiplied by 4 root 2. So we multiply the coefficient and then we multiply the surd. Okay, so 3 times 4 is 12. Root 2 times root 2, that will be just 2, guys. And 12 times 2 will be 24. So the answer is 24. If your answer is correct, mark the step, and give yourself 3 marks. Okay. Now let's move on. Another example, simplify the following. So multiplication, common multiplication. Here, let's take only 1 and then no classwork. Okay. So J, we have minus root 7 multiplied by minus 2 root 3. Okay, so if you we can write this one as minus 1 times root 7 multiplied by minus 2 times root 3. So we bring the coefficient together, minus 1 times minus 2, and then we multiply the surd together, root 7 times root 3. Minus 1 times minus 2, that would be plus 2, times, we can combine these numbers under the square root, right, using the rule of surd. So that will be 2 times square root of 21, which is 2 root 21. So this is how you can simplify something like this. Okay, so it's very easy and straightforward, guys. All right, so before we continue, let's take one more example which is not written here. Simplify the following. Simplify the following. A, square root of 32. B, square root of 80. C, square root of 108. So we're going to take just two, and then you solve the remaining one yourself. So let's start from C. Square root of 108. So if you remember, 108 is equal to 54 times 2, right? And 54 is 27 times 2, if you remember. So we can break it down to square root of 27 times 2 times 2. That's 27 times 4, right? 4 times 7 is 8, carry 2. 4 times 2, that's 108. So we can further break this one down to 9 times 3 times 4, okay? And then we can multiply the perfect squares. 9 times 4 is 36 times 3. And then we can separate the square root now, multiply by square root of 3. The square root of 36 is 6, square root of 3 is surd. So, and that will be 6 root 3. Okay, so this is what you do, guys. When you are simplifying expression, you break the number to product of perfect square number and another number that is not a perfect square. Then you take the square root of the perfect square and multiply it by the surd, and then you have the final answer. Isn't it simple? It's very simple, guys. Very simple. So let's take one more example, and then you do your classwork. So you can start your classwork right away. B is your classwork. We'll solve A together. A, root 32. Break it down to root 32. Express it as a product of perfect square number and another number. That will be 16 times 2. Okay, break the root down to square root of 16 times square root of 2. Square root of 16 is 4 times square root of 2, right? And that will be 4 root 2. Okay, so pause the video, do your classwork. Welcome back. Now let's solve this classwork together. So we have B, square root of 80. So we are going to express 80 as a product of perfect square number and another number. If you notice, 80 is 16 times 5, right? Good. 16 is a perfect square. So we write it as 16 multiplied by 5. And then we break it down to square root of 16 times square root of 5. Square root of 16 is 4. Square root of 5 is a surd. So we multiply, and then we have 4 root 5. 4 root 5. And that is the answer. So, mark, you've gotten, if you've done your classwork very well in this part, you have gotten like a 12 over 12, okay? So if you get 12 over 12, very good one, keep it up. So in our next lesson, we'll be looking at divisions of surd. See you there. Bye.